Oh,
But you know what?
it's fine.
We're going to record this for posterity.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a couple things I've been working on. We're going to let some people jump in here, but let me start my let me start it off with my trailers first. So I'm going to do some sponsors, pay some bills, and then we'll kick it off over to you in just a second here.
Okay.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, archerypass.com, for all your traditional archery needs. Check out CD Archery, performance ILF risers for hunters to world champions. cdarchery.com. Made right here in the United States of America.
What tab are you shooting?
Yes!
Don't shoot the tab, obviously.
Hey, okay, welcome back. We're here with Sara Gamache. Sara, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on really quick.
Good. Yeah, long time no talk.
Yeah, it is. It's been so long. We need to catch up. Is it snowing there, first of all?
Yeah, that's why it took me a while to get on, because I'm just drove my son to jiu-jitsu and the roads were crazy because we're Washingtonians and we don't know how to drive in the snow. So people are panicking.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey,
Yeah.
just really quick, we got some people are starting to chime in and get here. Hello to Nan. Hello to Dwayne, Martin, and Lisa. Nice to see you guys. If you're here in the comments, leave a little comment, say hello to Sara, and if you have questions, let's get to those questions a little bit later. I invited Sara on the show because she has been posting a little bit about shot IQ. When I had her first on the our podcast, it's got to be like 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years?
Almost 3 years, yeah.
3 years ago, we talked a lot about, you taking shot IQ. The main reason I was like, I saw you on Instagram. I was like, man, if I could shoot like that person, I would love to, because you got amazing form. So I think yeah, you're welcome. I mean, but then I asked you on the podcast, I'm like, how did you get so good? And your answer was
shot IQ. I didn't talk a whole lot about physical form, which I think that's what you're asking about, but that's not really what I attribute my success to. And that's usually what most people think about when they think about archery, is physical form. And when they ask for lessons and stuff, they want to be taught about physical form. And that is such a small part to the big picture.
I know. And you've been a successful hunter. I mean, and you're going on. I want to talk about all the stuff that you're about to do as well. That's exciting to me. That is super exciting to me. Do want to get to the shot IQ stuff, because that's super important as well. It's very timely. Obviously, we're striking while the iron's hot. Joel was just on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm not sure who that is, but apparently he's got a podcast like mine. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for him. Actually, that's really, really good. Advertising market. And of course, his son Bodie, just a rock star in the in the archery community right now. He's cleaning it up. But you in particular, why don't we talk a little bit about how shot IQ has changed the way you do things, and what it's mean to you, and what is shot IQ anyway? We might have just. All right. Well, we get Sara back. I'm gonna play this little clip. Don't leave anywhere. I'm gonna show you this little clip of the Shot IQ, the Joe Rogan podcast. Stand by. Watch this clip. Give me hey, Sara, you back?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Let me play this clip anyway. I've got a clip of the Joe Rogan.
It's where the mind
but
needs
it's so
to be.
counterintuitive.
It is, but it's just the way it works, right? And so just cutting to the chase and cutting out all the crap and giving people a specific blueprint to eliminate the mystery in your shot.
Who is that? Who's on there? You're on there more than he is.
That was a little reel that I put together today. So on my Instagram. Yeah. And I just think, it's just crazy, because I've been like an advocate for Joel stuff since I started doing it. And I was so excited to see him get on this level of platform, on Joe Rogan. And he told me about it a while ago, that he'd been working with Joe, and that he was going to do this podcast. And I've just been like waiting anxiously for the world to get to hear it. And so, yeah, it finally released the other day, and I was super excited for him.
It's so good. Tell us a little bit about what shot IQ is.
Yeah, so shot IQ is how to put together the mental side of your shot. So there's really not a whole lot of physical form involved in it. It's basically a method that Joel has come up with and blueprinted to help people overcome their target panic. So almost all of us as archers experience it. It's something natural that happens within our bodies. Our bodies don't like explosions. They want to time explosions. They don't want it to happen like with us controlling it. Like our body wants to control that portion of the shot and know when it's going to happen. So there's like this override that takes place in our bodies where, especially if you're concentrating on your aim and your brain and your eyes are watching your pin float and it hits the bullseye and you just want to slap that trigger and you want to get rid of that arrow. And that's not the right way to do it, because there are a lot of things that happen when you punch the trigger, a lot of pre-ignition movements. So Joel has blueprinted this way to override all that stuff that's going on in your head and your body's basically naturally what it wants to do. And kind of, it's called open loop versus closed loop system. And so open loop is where all that crazy stuff's going on in your head and your body's taking over. And then the closed loop is where you step in and you basically set a level of determination and go through a process to make sure you stay in control the whole time.
That's amazing. I'm actually doing the course right now on the push podcast, the pack for the push. And it's been helping me tremendously just to change my mindset in terms of archery. And now I know for you go there all the time. You talk to Joel all the time. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that in a live course and being there live.
Yeah, it's really awesome to do it live. I mean, Joel, I've known about him basically my whole life. We're from the same small town. I started posting my archery stuff only a couple months after I bought my first bow, and he was following my Instagram page, and I posted a video at a 3D shoot, and I was probably punching the trigger because I didn't know any better. And he wrote some comment on there, calling me out, telling me why that wasn't good. And I was like, what, who is he like getting on here? And I was like, that isn't very nice. Like, I'm a beginner, come on. And so he reached out to me after that and was like, hey, I can't have, my local hometown girls, punching triggers. You need to come see me. So he invited me over and put me through his course. And thinking about when I went through it back then, and it's kind of like a fire hose, because I was also trying to just learn archery as a whole in general, which is overwhelming for people to begin with. And then to take it to that level and try to learn Joel stuff, which is also very high level, it was a lot. So I don't know that it sunk in the first time.
So that is interesting. Like you're from his hometown. He sees you, and most of us are like, it's cringy when someone says, "Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that." And my immediate reaction is like, "Who are you?" Exactly what you said. Like, who are you to tell me what to do? Luckily, it's one of those times where you're just like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I got to go do this."
Yeah.
So okay, so you meet this guy. Did you think he was crazy, or did you immediately take to the training?
No, you can. If you meet Joel in person, you can tell instantly he's a very passionate individual, and I'm a passionate individual. So we connected on that level where I can tell, like, this guy knows his stuff. He genuinely wants to help people. He's, developed a system, and also his credentials. He has very good credentials. He was a SWAT member for 20 years, and with my husband doing what he does in the military, like I look a lot into credentials. And so I trusted him. I knew that he knew his stuff. And like I said, if you've met him in person, you know that he's the kind of dude that would give you the shirt off his back. So we clicked instantly, and he's a great instructor. So I was very receptive, to his teaching techniques and all of that, for sure.
Yeah, and I love talking about your husband a little bit. So can we just mention him, name, rank, and serial number? Just tell us what he does.
Yeah, my husband is a Green Beret, so he's Army Special Forces, and he's actually a couple years away from retiring. He just picked up his E9, and he's about 18 years. So he's done some amazing stuff in his career. He's done a lot of stuff I probably don't even know about.
Thank God, yeah. So we don't need to know about that either.
Yeah, no, I will say he got a Purple Heart on his last deployment, which was in Afghanistan. He got blown up in Afghanistan and suffered we almost lost him. So that was tragic, but we're moving past that, and we're looking forward to his retirement.
Yes, he can't get out soon enough. Well, that's good that he gets to retire. Hopefully he's healthy enough to enjoy his retirement. But yeah, it's not great taking a bullet for the team, but I mean, thank God that there's people like that do take bullets for us. And we appreciate his service, and we appreciate that you're a wife of a service member. So thank you very much for that. Back onto Joel. So in Shot IQ, I think it's really important to kind of outline that Joel's background. So he's got he has a main student. His main student is Bodie. And Bodie right now is the #1 archer in the world. Is that right? Or
yeah, he holds some titles. Yeah, he won a world title when he was at the Vegas shoot. So Bodie didn't win Vegas this year, but there was another world title that he qualified for and then got to compete for at the Vegas event that he did win. And then he won Lancaster for the 2nd year in a row. And I mean, he has a ton of titles for being 16 years old. It's just absolutely incredible.
Just turned 16, right? Just turned 16.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just turned 16.
That's pretty awesome. Hey, if there's any questions for Sara around Shot IQ, I know it's not, she's done the courses. She lives now near Joel. She takes people out there all the time to see him. So she's an advocate of the Shot IQ program. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Is there anything else you want to share with us on your next adventure? You're going on a few things here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to New Zealand in a couple weeks. I'm taking a group. We do a lot of group hunts now, so we're taking about 9 of our friends to New Zealand. That's a bucket list hunt that I've had for several years, but it kept getting postponed because of COVID. So now it's finally open, so we get to do our New Zealand hunt. And then once I get home from New Zealand, I'm going straight to Argentina for a water buffalo hunt. And then I think after that,
go back to New Zealand. Sorry, go back to New Zealand for 1 second. Wait, there's too much. There's too much. Okay, New Zealand. You said it's a dream hunt, but where are you going? North, South Island. What are you hunting while you're there?
So we're going on the North Island with Kawika Outfitters. So it's actually the south part of the North Island down by Napier, and it's going to be for red stag and maybe fallow. Who knows? I mean, that's my main thing is like we're going for like a 350 to 360 red stag. So that's my bucket list animal while we're there.
Ooh, that's amazing. So do you like hunting trees there, or do you stalk, or what do you like? I don't know. Fill me in.
Spot and stalk, I think, is mostly what they said we'll be doing. And then there's some areas that they have like blinds set up, but I think spot and stalk is what they primarily try to do.
And are you taking your trad bow?
I am.
You are?
I'm not going to shoot the red stag with it. I'm going to use my Mach 34 that just came in, but there are some other animals that I'm going to probably try for with there's some rams and stuff that they have on the property that I'm going to probably go for with my recurve. I thought about my longbow, but my longbow, which I think I've gotten since we've talked. So that's like a newer bow. It's very heavy. And I'm not ready to take that yet. So I'm going to probably do my recurve.
Okay. Well, you know what? Every time, I mean, I'm sure you're probably like, as soon as I post this trad video, Mick's going to be like, yee.
Yeah. You're always the first to comment on those ones.
I know. I get out there quick. I got to keep pushing people. I have been, I think I've converted a few people to, there's a priest out of Arkansas who I had on the show, and he was very much a compound guy. And I got him, hey, you need to do recurve. And now he's shooting recurve. He's amazing. And so it's great to see him do that. You guys have a lot in common. Loves to hunt, loves to work out, loves to shoot bows. And speaking of work, let me see if this will work, if I can do this. What is this?
Look at your fancy technology.
I know, look at this. Goals this year for you. Get back to 70-pound draw weight. That's way too heavy for a recurve. I'm just telling you right now.
Well, yeah, you're right. That would be a little bit heavy for a recurve. I didn't specify which bow in that post, I guess.
Look at the gun show on you. Oh my God. So you've been working out, obviously.
Yeah, it's hard for me to stay consistent with that because I'm traveling so much. So like when I am home, that is my main focus, is to get in the gym as much as possible, because I'm not one of those people that can work out when I'm on vacation. I know people do it. I know there's ways to do it, but that's my break. That's my vacation. And so when I'm home, I really try to hit the gym as much as I can.
And you find it's helpful to be in shape for the type of hunting that you do?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no way I would be able to meet these goals as far as poundage without going to the gym in between.
Right. So, hey, so Anthony's asking in the chat, what recurve bow do you have? What do
I
you,
have one that I've had for a while. It's the Yucca Irbis limbs. I think they're 45 or 50-pound limbs. And then the Hoyt Satori riser.
yeah.
So I think it's 62 inches altogether. Yeah, I've been shooting that one for a while. Those limbs are awesome. They're expensive, but they are awesome.
I would tend to agree. I love those limbs. Pound for
Yeah.
pound, dollar for dollar, they're excellent limbs. Yeah, again, guys, just leave comments in there. I see that Levi is on. Man, you're still there. Anthony, thanks for the question. So keep pounding the questions in here. I'm going to do this one more time because my sponsor's on here. So I'm going to drive one more ad here. If you don't mind, for a bow that I think you should pick up. I think everyone should at least own one. And that's our CD Archery sponsor, Dwayne and Calvin Smock. Everything's built and made here in the United States. So let me get through one of these one more time. We did one at the very beginning, but I'll do one here and then we'll.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Check out CD Archery Performance ILF Risers for hunters to world champions. cdarchery.com. Made right here in the United States of America.
How cool is that? Just we are back. So I think that's cool. I think it's nice that we can have software now that allows us to have these interviews and still just make sure that our sponsors get all the information that get out there in front of everyone too. Because I'll tell you, it's like it's tough out there. It's a tough game, especially there's a lot of competition in risers and ILF risers now, and so it's tough. So anyway, that's Dwayne and Calvin Smock. If you have any questions about CD Archery risers, just reach out to them. They're more than happy to talk about it. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions for Sara? Sara, talk about the rest of your hunting trip. So you're going to New Zealand, then you're going to.
Then I'm going to Argentina. That was like a very last minute trip that I booked, and I'm hoping to do water buffalo there. So I did my Cape buffalo in South Africa 2 years ago. So now I'm going to go for water buffalo in Argentina. So that's why I'm trying to get up to 70 pounds, because for my Cape buffalo I got up to 75, and I was training really hard for that for about a year to get to that point. And then I kind of got done with that hunt and was like, well, I don't need to stay at 75 pounds anymore. So I went back down to like 60 something, like 62, and now I'm like, okay, time to work my way back up again.
But so when were you at 70 pounds, and why did you need to be at 70 pounds in Pacific Northwest? That was for that buffalo, the other buffalo that you took, right?
Yeah, I just needed to get
Never
up
did.
to 75 pounds for the Cape buffalo. I'm not like someone that's like a huge, like, oh, you got to shoot a 90-pound bow to kill an elk. Like, I've killed 4 elk with my bow now, and it's all been at 60 pounds. I think I even might have done one at 55 pounds. Like, for what I'm doing for the most of the year, I'm gonna shoot at like 60 to 65 pounds. It was just that specific hunt I needed to get up 10 more pounds too.
So just a quick question from the chat. Do you use a sear or a clicker? I think that's a great question because I know that you do not.
Bare bow, all bare bow.
Yeah, but doesn't Joel? No, not like a clicker like that. Doesn't he use a mental trigger to?
He does. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've tried all of them. I mean, he's always coming up with stuff when I'm over there. He's like, let me tell you about this thing I do with my tongue and the roof of my mouth. My nail on the rice.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of stuff he's coming up with. And yeah, I've tried multiple. I don't use any of that stuff. I just go strictly bare bow.
Yeah. And I think that fingernail on the thing, that's the sear that they're talking about, and that's what he means. That's what David means. Okay. And Lisa Yun is like, hey, keep your snow down there, please. She's up in British Columbia, so she does not want any more snow. It is ridiculous up here too with snow. It's getting pretty bad, but hopefully we get through this and we get back into summer. You don't care. You're off to New Zealand. It's summer there.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm just hoping that we don't get like rained out. They had like a big typhoon or something, and it wiped out half the island. And
Really?
yeah, I don't know. I had we're gonna get there a week early so that we can do tourist stuff. My husband and I don't get to go on vacations very often together, so I was like, let's just go all out and do like 2 full weeks there. So we fly into Auckland and we're going to rent a car and we're supposed to drive, through the whole country doing all the tourist stuff. Well, this typhoon came and knocked out like half the roads. And so I now have to get on my agenda, like my schedule, and figure out what we're going to have to change, and routes are going to have to be different. And so, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. So we might miss out on some things I'd planned. I'm kind of bummed, but we're going back next year. And I booked, I'm going to take 2 groups next year, because New Zealand was one of those ones that I advertised taking people with us, where I went to an outfitter and I said, can you get me a group discount? What's the discount? How many people do I need to bring to get that for them? And so we worked out a deal. So everyone that's coming with me on that hunt is getting about 20 to 30% off of what it would be for them if they just went on their own.
Yeah.
And so next year I'm going to do the same thing. So if there's people listening that thinks this New Zealand is a bucket list hunt for them, and reach out to me, because we're going to do 2 different groups next year as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So I've been to New Zealand. I enjoyed it. I was there for a week, and I was all North Island. I did all North Island stuff, not for hunting. I was there for work, but I got to. So it's on my work dime. We got to go to some pretty nice places, and it's nice, and the people are great. There's great bars that you can go to. You're not going. I was there over St. Patrick's Day, so it was just lunatic.
Oh,
right? Yeah, it was.
that'll be fun. I am going to the Morgan Wallen concert there, though, which is going to be crazy.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I've
Can
never
you
been
sing a little bit for us, Morgan Wallen? Can you do
What's
a little
that?
Can you do a little Morgan Wallace for us?
Absolutely cannot.
I thought you were going to
Nope,
go for it.
that's
I
not
thought
one of
you were
my-
going to go for it. Seriously.
Not one of my talents. Yeah, I've never been to a concert like out of the country before. I go to a lot of concerts here in the US, so that'll be fun. Little extra that we get to do.
No, that is good. And so you're going to be driving around that whole island. I think that's pretty neat. What's Hot Water Beach, Lisa? That's Lisa saying go there. It must be in New Zealand somewhere. It's got to be nice.
Okay.
It's probably nice. Check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I don't know which areas have gotten, been affected by that storm that they had. That's part of what I need to get figured out in the next couple of days.
I know. And she's like, when do you get back so that we can go shoot with Joel again? You can introduce people to Joel and get him out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Shot IQ, so this is great. This is really great. It's really timely too. So, just really quick, Melanie likes to follow along here a lot too. She comes out and she's awesome at supporting us on this channel. So I appreciate you, Melanie. And South Carolina, you don't have to rub it in our face though that you're mowing grass out there. Please.
Yeah, I bet it's nice. We used to live in North Carolina, so I miss that weather.
Oh my gosh, I know. Just really quick, it's volcanic. It is volcanic heated water comes up from the what?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I would love.
You need to hook up. Just get her some stuff on Instagram. Tell her where to go, Lisa.
Yeah, definitely. Anywhere from Auckland all the way down to Napier, anywhere in that area, we can go do stuff, because that's kind of our route we're going to take.
Yeah. I don't know how much longer I have you here, so I know you're waiting for your son at jiu-jitsu.
No, I got about a half hour left till he comes out, so we're good.
Joel has definitely found a system that will work well for some that have not had outside influences, that have built habits or perhaps other process-driven shooting forms. Yeah, I think I'm taking the course right now, and you let me know if you think the same, Sarah. But I take the course right now, and like, you got to go through it a few times, like you do, and you have to trust the process. Right now, I don't trust the process. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not there yet, but I know that I know that if I keep going through it, trust the process, I will get there. I will say, a few years ago, Dwayne Martin, I had a little one-on-one with Dwayne Martin, and I think most of the people on the show know who that is. Dwayne is a #1 barebow archer here in the United States and around the world. He's just a fantastic archer, and the way he shoots it's mind-blowing. It makes it look like it's so easy, like every expert does. And him and I, he got me out there, and we're standing there shooting, and he was taking me through a lot of the same steps mentally that Joel was taking us through, a couple of years later when we were at the single string boot camp in Ohio. And I thought that was amazing too. And so, there's a lot of great coaches. What my point is on this is that you need coaching. Is exactly what Chris is saying. Don't get bad form. one of the big reasons that Sara came to my attention is because she would be posting videos and her form would look like an amazing, and you hadn't been shooting very long or something, a recurve very long, but
Probably a year, I think, when you reached out to me. Yeah.
and I was like, I can't do that. How do you do that? How do you do
Well,
that?
I don't, to be 100% honest, I don't think it's probably that good as it was. I was working with Tom Clem a lot, so my physical form was really good, but that is something you have to commit to as well. Like, just like Joel stuff, like you have to be just as determined and know that you're going to do that every single time. And I'm not as determined with the physical side of it as I am with Joel stuff. So my form has gone downhill, so don't give me too much credit. But yeah, I think what helped me is that I got help right off the bat. Like when I started my archery journey, I was able to pull two of the best in the industry, one for physical form, one for the mental side. And I know for a fact that's what gave me, like, the edge. Where, like, that last person had just commented, like, there's people out there that have already developed bad habits and bad forms, and you can still fix those. Like Joel will say, he's worked with everyone who's picked up a bow for their first time in their life to people that have been shooting archery for 60 years. So it's never too late. So I don't want people to think like, oh, I have my way so ingrained, I'll never be able to change that, because you can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, and honestly, you can work on form all you want. If you have target panic, your form looks like crap when you actually get in front of a target. It just does. It falls apart. You can't, and you got to trust that process, like you said. And having Joel and Tom is just amazing. I think Anthony really wants you to answer this question. He's asked it twice. What are the arrows? What arrows do you? I guess he's talking about your recurve. I don't know if you have different. Yeah.
So for my recurve, I'm shooting the Victory. I bounce back and forth whatever I can get. Like, I think right now I might have the Rip TKOs. I might have the Gamers. Trying to remember spine. I think it's like a 300 spine on those, and I do 3 under. And did he ask about broadheads? Oh, yeah. Broadheads, I use the Cutthroats a lot, which were developed by Tom Clem, and I think Snyder helped design those. Yep. And then the Valkyrie, I've used Valkyrie. And then I think those are really the only two that I've killed animals with, are those two.
Yeah, and that's a point that we should bring up too. Like, you've killed a lot of animals. You put a lot of animals on the ground. Big game, like you've elk and talk a little bit about some of the trophies you got.
So elk hunting is my main thing that I do here in Washington. It's what I'm really passionate about. It's what I've been hunting since I was a little girl. And I've shot 5 elk with my compound bow. My goal is now that I would like to shoot one with a recurve. And so, a lot of elk, a lot of black-tailed deer over the years. I've traveled a lot internationally, so I've shot a lot of different animals in Africa. I've gone to Scotland and shot a red stag when I was there. Trying to think, Texas, I go to Texas. So I've shot almost all my animals with my recurve have been in Texas. So I fully admit I have not done public land, spot and stock with a recurve. I went to Texas originally when I started because I wanted the shot opportunities. I'm not going to pick up a recurve in my first year, go try to hunt a Roosevelt elk. Like, that's not realistic.
No. Yeah.
So I wanted to shoot hogs. Like, I love to go to Texas and shoot hogs with my recurve. That's one of my favorite things to do. So eventually my goals are that I want to start shooting these other animals with my recurve that I've already killed with a compound, like an elk eventually. So down the road, that'll happen.
That is great. And I'm going to keep pushing you too, right? I'm going to say, every time I see you with a compound, I might make a little snide comment. Just don't take it personally. All right.
You're not the only one. I'm used to it.
Okay, good. Well, is there anything else that we can bug you about? Like what we talked about, everything that's coming up, or is there more? Is there more?
I mean, whatever questions people have, I just, once again, highly encourage people to take Joel's course. And that snippet that I posted today, which went back to our podcast that we did 3 years ago, you had asked me, like, what's my shot process? And I circumvented, the answer like a politician. I know what you wanted. You wanted me to talk about like when I pull my bow back and what I go through, but I explained in that my process, I call it like my pre-shot process, actually starts as soon as the animal comes in. And so I think, like, I talked to a ton of people that take Joel's course, maybe even several times they've taken it, and they feel like they get it, they understand it, they're applying it, and that's all, the actual shot process when you're shooting your bow, what's going through your head. But then the problem is everything that falls apart before that, like when the animal comes in and they're freaking out and they're panicking and their heart rate's through the roof and they're shaking, and it's like, how do you get past that? Like, how do you get your shit together to actually get the bow in your hand and do your shot process? So in that clip that I posted today, I was explaining it's the same concept of what Joel teaches. It's like the self-talk. It's saying like, calm the F down, whatever you have to say to yourself, like, you need to get ready for this shot. You need to pull yourself together. You need to stop panicking. Like, you need to get ready for a controlled shot. You know your job. Like, whatever type of motivation you have to give yourself, but you have to override all those things that are going on in your body to get your blood pressure down, get your breathing under control. And I personally do that with self-talk, and it's along the same lines. If you listen to that full podcast that Joel and Joe Rogan did, they talk about how you can apply Joel's methods to several other things in life, martial arts or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so part of my takeaway is that I actually use some of Joel's stuff when I see the animal and when I feel my heart rate go up and keeping it together. And I feel like that's where a lot of people fail. They get buck fever, or they just feel like Joel even mentions it, it's a situation where they feel like they just need to hurry up and get the shot off. And that's how I grew up hunting. Like, I hunted a lot with my dad and my brother, and we would come to an animal and they'd be like, okay, get ready, get your gun, get your shot. Like, they would just like rush me and talk fast and get me in this panic. And like, I don't want to blame them. They weren't intentionally like trying to create that panic, because they were excited and they wanted to help me. They're trying to be helpful. But that's, for the first 20 years of my life hunting, that was my experience. And then I would be yanking the trigger, and I'm talking about with a rifle, this was far before my archery journey, and I'd be missing animals or wounding animals, and everything about the whole experience was so chaotic, and I hated it. And I just remember when I got my bow, I kept thinking, what do people think about, like, when they're drawn back, and what do people think about leading up to the shot? And those were questions I had before I even knew anything about Joel. So when he came to me and started explaining what I needed to be thinking about, I was like, oh yeah, there's the answer to my question. And then I just turned around and applied all that stuff to leading up to the shot, so that I could stay calm and collected. And it's like, I'll never go back to being panicked. I can never go back, because every animal that I've killed now, when I'm under complete control, it's so much better of an experience. I mean, I would rather shoot, like a small little raghorn bull in that mindset, with that self-control, having everything be perfect, than a 350-inch bull where it's pure chaos and it's panicked and all that stuff that I just talked about. Like, so that's why I'm trying to help people with and encourage people when they come to me and say, how do I keep my shit together?
That's amazing. That just diatribe, that commentary from you was amazing. It actually calmed me down. I don't know why. I just feel calmer now. I got to be able, my blood pressure's way down low. I don't know. Going live always makes me a little bit tense too. I just don't know, especially having you on. I know you like to cuss like a sailor, so I don't want to get demonetized. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Probably not kidding, but but you've been good on this show, so we're good. This isn't Aaron Schneider.
And that's what's funny, is that Joel will tell you, people that are high strung like me with A-type personality, it's harder for us to do his course. Like, the people that really excel and pick it up right away are laid back, calm. Like, if you meet Bodie's like the calmest human being I've ever talked to, and you would never guess in a million years this is a 16-year-old kid. Like, everything about him is just so calm and cool and collected. And people with those personality traits, tend to do better with Joel's stuff. So for me, yeah, I had to overcome
I'm
a
gonna
lot.
raise my hand too. I am A-type personality. I'm high
Yeah.
strung. I'm like go go go, move all the way. That's why I was like, for you to do it gives me a little bit of hope that maybe it'll work for me eventually. So I've got to get there. Trust the process. I think
You just
that's
have to get your determination up. That's Joel's thing. Is he says there's not natural born shooters, there's natural born decision makers. And I will say, even though I'm high strung and I have those things working against me, I'm also an extremely determined individual. Like when I decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to give it my all, whether it's business, I own several businesses, whether it's, family, or it's just any hobby I pick up. I want to do it the best. I want to be perfect at it, and I want to give it my all. And so you can be an individual like us, where we're high strung, but if you have that level of determination, you're still going to do very well and be successful with it. And like I said, I've now upped my determination level where I've decided no circumstance am I going to get panicked in a hunting situation. And even after I took Joel's course and made that decision, I went hunting with my brother again for the first time, us hunting since I went through everything. And we were black bear hunting, and he was on a spotting scope, and we're looking at this hillside, and he found a bear, and he's like, "Sara, get ready." And he started his stuff again. And I was like, stop right now. And he's like, "What? We can't get the gun. We gotta shoot this bear." And I was like, I'm not doing it that way. He's like, "Well, it's probably going to get away." I'm like, I don't care if it gets away. I'm not taking a shot like this anymore. This is where I'm drawing the line. So, and he knew that I had been going through Joel's stuff, and he was like, you're right. I just need to let you go through your process. And I was like, yes, please let me just go through my process. And he handed me his gun. It was actually, I had shot his gun a couple of times. I can't remember why. It was a 400-yard shot, and maybe my rifle wasn't zeroed for 400 yards. So I shot his gun. It was an extremely hard shot, and I nailed it. And he was like, I could not believe you just made that shot. And I was like, that's because I got to go through my process, and I did everything in a calm manner without you freaking out. And so now we have the understanding. And so I tell people too, like, if I do a lot of solo hunting, and that's part of why I solo hunt so much, so I don't have that person in my ear. But if you're like going on a guided hunt, or you have a hunting partner, have a conversation with them before you go out about how it's going to go down when you get in front of that animal. When I'm with a guide, I tell them, like, hey, when the animal comes in, don't talk to me. Don't tell me what to do. Don't rush me. Don't tell me, just sit over there and be quiet, because you're going to interfere with all my process. So you have to be very cognizant of your surroundings. And when you get to the level where you decide you're going to, be determined every single time, you have to be aware that there's going to be outside influences that are going to try to mess that up or interfere with that. So yeah, I've learned a lot along the ways. It's to get where I'm at now.
You have a combination of good coaching and great experience, I think. So it sounds really good. Hey, I'm going to kind of cut it off there. It's getting hard to see you. Now it's getting
probably
dark.
because
Oh, look at you. There you are. I didn't even know you were there. Like, all we saw were like your teeth. And anyway, so we'll cut that off. We'll cut it off here. Is there any other questions before we jump? Sara, do you got any last comments about it?
I don't have anything, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I appreciate it. It was very timely.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to see you connect all the dots, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks very much. I'm going to put it out to the sponsors now, and then I'm going to try this again, and then we'll call it the day. So thanks very much for watching. Stick around, check out our sponsors, and we'll talk to you soon.